Through the tireless and faithful commitment of Austro-Hungarian and German immigrants over 100 years ago, God has blessed us with a beautiful church where we celebrate the holy sacrifice of the Mass. We are also blessed to have a classic school building where young people are able to pursue the relationship between faith and reason in fidelity to Christ and His Church. As we celebrate our 125th years for both church and school, we seek to continue our long history of worship, sacrifice, and accomplishment. We are called today to ensure that our buildings will serve current and future generations. Completed in 1912, our church building is in need of serious repairs and improvements. The damaging effects of Minnesota winters has taken its toll on the front steps and platform. The steps have become unsafe, and water has found its way into the lower-level women's restroom below the platform. This repeated water issue, combined with the aging fixtures, has made the women's restroom extremely unpleasant, incapable of being fully repaired. Coupled with these issues is the fact that the church does not currently have any handicap-accessible restrooms for those with disabilities or limitations. Beyond the restrooms, there are significant electrical deficiencies within the church that need to be addressed, including old circuits that are known to smoke and spark at times. Most of the switches and receptacles are original within the church, and the current wiring is not equipped to provide adequate power for potential future upgrades within our building. Finally, the church roof needs serious attention. The majority of our clay tiles are 100 years old, original to the building. Though the roof was last rebuilt in 1958, many of the original tiles were reused at this time. Brittle clay tiles continue to break during the winter months, causing interior water damage. We have tried to repair and patch, but the time has come to install a new roof so that extensive damage to the interior of our church does not occur. Built in 1939 and 1959 respectively, our main school building and convent need significant repair and improvements to make them safe, accessible, and efficient for those who use these spaces, including the religious sisters who have been so dedicated in their service over the years. The roof of our main school building is no longer repairable and has allowed water to repeatedly damage the inside of the science lab, library, and several classrooms. The school and convent buildings are not handicap accessible. In fact, the only elevator which adjoins the school and convent will be put out of service for code reasons by the City of St. Paul if it is not replaced by December 31, 2014. The electrical and lighting system has significant deficiencies, with classrooms often having only one permanent receptacle tied to a single breaker. This inadequate electrical infrastructure, coupled with aged equipment within our computer labs, science labs, and classrooms, hinders us in providing the most effective academic preparation for our students. Our current computers within these noted areas are between 8 and 10 years old. Most of the classroom furnishings are antiquated, creating a significant disadvantage when trying to attract prospective students with classrooms that give a perception of a compromised educational product. The smaller classroom desks simply do not meet the physical needs of our older students. These same limitations are true within our cafeteria, as high school students struggle to modestly sit on benches more suited for elementary students. The immobility of the current tables also creates great inefficiencies with the daily cleaning. The north and east sides of the convent are the only original windows on campus that have not been replaced. Their current inoperative state actually allows weather, snow, rain, and wind to penetrate certain areas of the convent, specifically where the Sisters of Charity reside. The windows are inefficient, incapable of being cleaned, and inoperable. To address these needs, our church and school leadership has formulated what it believes is a very positive and prudent plan that allows us to focus on the pressing and immediate needs while also planning for the future generations of Saint Agnes. We will rebuild the structural support and the foundation walls for our front steps at the church, as well as refurbish our railings. We will replace the concrete platform at the top of the stairs adding heating coils to melt ice and snow during inclement weather. As a final enhancement, 2 custom light fixtures will be added, providing additional lighting for all those that enter. This will recreate the historical appearance that was once present on the stone piers at the top of the stairs in 1912. We will add a new handicap-accessible private restroom on the lower level that will meet all current ADA requirements, welcoming and accessible to all. We will update the current lower-level women's and men's restrooms with current and operable fixtures, while also repairing any of the long-standing water damage. Our church electrical system will be updated to be more energy efficient and safe, with current automated panels and effective lighting systems. Our 100-year-old church roof will be replaced with a new tile system and a significant underlayment to maximize the life expectancy while protecting the interior of our beautiful church for many generations to come. Our plans include replacing the school roof, utilizing a customized design that includes several expansion joints in order to minimize future repairs. We will replace our current elevator with one that will provide access to all floors of the convent as well as the school, making it fully handicap accessible and meeting all ADA requirements. Our school electrical system will be updated with current circuit breakers, while also upgrading the amount of accessible power and receptacles within classrooms to meet modern technological needs. We will update our antiquated light fixtures to a more energy-efficient system. Current computers will also be purchased to replace approximately 75 dated machines located within the high school computer lab, science lab, and classrooms. We will replace the desks and chairs within 20 separate classrooms, creating a more uniform, size-appropriate, and attractive environment for student learning, including a complete refurbishment of our current science lab. We will replace the bench tables in the cafeteria with 30 collapsible tables, many that will better suit the older students. We will replace the north and east side windows on the convent in order to create a more civil living space for our teaching sisters and the various ministries that utilize the building. This investment will provide long-term energy savings for the church. To address our needs and plans, we are initiating an intensive fundraising campaign effort entitled Honoring Our Past, Preserving Our Future. Our aim with this important effort is to raise the funds required to renew and repair our church, school, and convent buildings. Our minimum goal is $4 million, with half of this amount used to address church building needs and the other half going toward the school and convent buildings. Our proposed plans will be achieved if we are able to meet our minimum goal. An additional $1 million has been established as a challenge goal for a total campaign of $5 million. If met, we will also be able to address air-climate issues within both the church and school buildings, in addition to being able to replace our current gymnasium floor within Bandus Hall. Our church and school buildings have many air systems that are either inefficient or no longer function. Though our boilers have been well cared for throughout the years and are still quite efficient, the systems for delivering and controlling fresh air within the buildings and their limitations has created serious issues. Besides significant fluctuations in overall temperature and humidity, the inability to control the inside climate within the church continues to damage previously restored areas. Similar adverse conditions within the school have created poor air quality, serious interior condensation, and damage to our wood flooring through excessive expansion and contraction. By reaching the challenge goal, we will be able to address and improve air, climate, and quality issues within both the church and school. Potential solutions will include the installation of new HVAC systems and ventilation. This may include providing air conditioning to the church, chapel, and various meeting spaces in Schuler Hall, in addition to Bandus Hall and the gymnasium in Gruden. We will also then replace the gymnasium floor in Bandus Hall that can no longer be repaired due to the repeated need for refinishing. Any additional funds raised beyond the $5 million challenge goal will be used toward current and long-term needs of the church and school. Everyone is asked to consider gifts above and beyond what they might give regularly through offerings, contributions, or annual giving. There are a variety of ways that gifts can be made. Long-term subscriptions or pledges payable over 3 years are easier for most and essential to meeting our goal, since it would be impractical, if not impossible, to reach our objectives with one-time out-of-pocket gifts. Gifts may be made in monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual installments at the donor's discretion. A 10% initial investment toward your total pledge is requested. Non-cash gifts are an additional or alternative way you can support our cause. You may, for example, wish to consider gifts in kind, such as labor and materials, gifts of securities, such as stocks and bonds, gifts of real estate or even personal property, such as artwork, automobiles, jewelry, and antiques. And finally, you can also choose to support our efforts through deferred gifts. These are gifts that can be given or arranged for now, but will not be received until later, and include gifts through a person's will by bequest, gifts of life insurance policies or annuities, and gifts in trust. There are also a number of very special gift opportunities available to donors of qualifying gift amounts. These opportunities allow people the unique chance to designate their gifts to a particular part of the project and dedicate them in honor or memory of those whom they choose. At this time, we ask for your prayers for the success of our campaign. God has brought us together as a body of Christ, and each of us has an important contribution to make. Every gift is of great worth, no matter the size. In times when sacrifice is required, it is critical that we each honestly humble ourselves before the Lord and ask Him to pour out His grace upon us. This is the only way that we can hope to be successful in this effort and in sharing the light and love of Christ. Certainly, without heartfelt prayer, nothing of eternal value is ever accomplished.